Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. It's going to be a Microbrew Tuesday. Let's get going. Honk if you love peeps. How awesome is that? Honk if you love peeps. Honk if you love peeps. Hey, we're getting ready for Easter at the Fields Church. I'm in the office today because I have my Bible study on Tuesdays. And oh gosh, the placement of my coffee makes it look like I have a massive coffee cup. It's not, it's just regular. So on Tuesdays, it's kind of a quick brew, micro brew, because I have the study of John. I'm going through that with some guys on Tuesday mornings, and so I'm here in the office, and so we won't be as long today. I want to say hello to those jumping on already this morning. Scott and Brenda, good morning. Happy Tuesday. And Les, good morning. And Melinda, morning to you. And Angie and Mary. Mary, those football boys, JV football boys, boom! What was it, like 46-7? Huge victory for the Mattoon JV boys against Taylorville last night. Chuck, good morning. Les, good morning to you. Honk, honk. That's right. Honk, honk. Honk, honk. Hello, Joe. Good morning to you. So good seeing everybody hopping on. There's a lot of people. I don't know if I'll be able to get to everybody. Oh, Angie's honking too. That's funny that you guys are honking on the brew. Honk, honk if you love peeps. Honk. So, good morning, Dave. Good morning, Brian. It's a terrific Tuesday, a terrific Tuesday. Good morning, Kylie. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, and Mary Lee. Sarah, I'm trying to fly through these really quick. Sorry if I miss somebody. Dana, good morning. And Nancy, good morning to you. And Crystal, good seeing you online. And Mark Cartwright, good morning, buddy. Yes, and Lisa Myers. Lisa, I haven't washed it yet, but it's about ready to bring this boy out. It needs washed, but not too far from having the Cubs mug ready to go. I try to let Joy run the brew on Tuesdays. Is she on yet? Because she's not a big fan of running it all by herself. Morning, Tim. Honk. He's honking too. That's awesome. Yeah, I've tried to get Joy to be on here all by herself on Tuesdays, and she looks at me. She goes, I'm not doing it. So I can't get it. Maybe you guys can. You guys probably have more influence with Joy than I do, to be quite honest. Would not be surprised at that at all. So, hey, tips for Easter. There's the parent tithe on the Easter basket candy. So if you guys have Easter basket candy at home, or you give your grandkids Easter baskets, or if you have Easter baskets, or you spouse, whatever, if you have Easter candy, there's the Easter tithe. It's one for me, and then 10 little pieces of candy for the kids, and then one for me, and then 10 little pieces of candy for the kids. So you gotta set it straight. The Easter basket is for them, but they got to give 10% of the Easter basket away to you. So I think that's important. Teach your kids the principle of sharing, and the Easter basket goodies is the best time to do it. That's a tip. When I was a kid, we would do eggs. Do you guys do hard-boiled eggs? Do you guys color eggs? Is anybody coloring eggs this year with anybody, like with grandkids, with kids, with neighbor kids? Oh, Les, is the Cubs mug to catch the nasty oil when you change the oil in your Jeep? I can't even say what I'm thinking. No, I'm just kidding. Do you guys color Easter eggs? When's the last time you guys colored an Easter egg? Last year? 10 years ago? 20 years ago? Does it matter how old you are to color Easter eggs? I have Easter egg questions today. Do you buy the kits now that you just stencil or you just put the plastic around the egg? Do you like just one color, like a dip? You dip the whole thing in, and just do you like to dip halfway, let it dry, flip it around, dip it halfway in another color? Do you like to take a crayon? We used to take a white crayon and write all over the egg, then dip it, and then when it comes up, the design. There's all kinds of ideas on Easter eggs. And so I think it would be good for you guys to share a little bit of that. And then when you go to hide the eggs, do you hide plastic eggs or do you hide actual hard-boiled eggs? Because when I was a kid, for whatever reason, there was a time we actually hid hard-boiled eggs. And I don't quite remember why we would do this because it just seemed silly that we wouldn't hide the plastic eggs. But we hid the hard-boiled eggs outside. And then I remember one time I hid it down in this like weird little bird feeder. It dropped down this little hole and I didn't want anybody to see it. I forgot about it. And so then there was this rotten egg lodged in a bird feeder that I forgot I put in there. And I found it much later when I was out mowing and weed eating. I saw the egg in there and it had been outside for weeks, like weeks. So kind of gross. So I'm going to go out on the limb and say it's time to, you hide plastic eggs. Don't hide the real eggs. Brenda says you can buy eggs already colored. What kind of fun is that? You can buy eggs already colored? Les wants to help color eggs. Les, are you for hire? Will you do it for free? If we just had an egg coloring day, you would come over and color eggs. That'd be kind of fun. When's the last time you colored eggs with just a bunch of adults? No kids. That actually might be a lot more fun. I mean, I bet it's a lot more creative. I bet they look a lot better. I bet adults take a lot more time and they're meticulous and they're really picky on the way it is, the way it turns out. That's a good idea. An adult egg coloring evening. Joy, are you listening? We need to get some adults together to color eggs. I think that'd be kind of fun. I don't know. All right, next question is this, what are you putting in the eggs for the kids that you hide? Is it candy? Is it real candy, like chocolatey candy, or is it cheap candy? Is it money? My mom used to put quarters in some of the eggs for the grandkids. Not when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I don't even remember anything in the eggs. They get grandkids, money and candy went in the eggs. So I don't know. Luann wants an egg fight. I don't know if that's a good idea, but why not? I do think we talked about what if there was an adult Easter egg hunt, and then I just think people go crazy. Like I think if you put some of these out there have $20 bills in them, and like one egg out there has $100 bill. I think if you put adults on the line and said 3, 2, 1, go, and you told them there's $100 bill hidden out there and a couple 20s and stuff like that, I think it would be absolutely comical watching these adults like tackling each other, scurrying around, trying to find eggs. That would be my guess. We've talked about that as a church. We might actually do that. That'd be fun. So anyway, all right, everybody. I'm trying to get it going. A little get your brain going a little bit on Easter. Have fun with the kiddos this year, grandkids. And I think last year we Zoomed Easter meal with my sister's family, and we put the computer on the end of the table. We could watch each other eating Easter. Ain't doing that this year. We're gonna be together, so that's good. So anyway, hey, I've been reading a little plan on what to read the week of Easter. I'm gonna share this with you really quick. But this one comes out of Isaiah chapter 49. And so I know you're like, what's Isaiah have to do with Easter? So I'm going to read it today. And it's a prophetic message of the servant of the Lord. It's really messianic. They said it's like a messianic passage in Israel foretelling of the Savior, the Messiah is to come. And I'm going to read this. It says, listen to me, all you who can hear, all you islands, hear this. You distant nations, before I was born, the Lord called me. This is the servant. From my birth, he was made mention of my name. He made my mouth like a sharpened sword. In the shadow of his hand, he hid me. He made me into a polished arrow, and he concealed me in his quiver. He said to me, you are my servant, Israel, in whom I will display my splendor. But I have labored to no purpose. I have spent my strength in vain and for nothing. Yet what is due me is in the Lord's hand, and my reward is with my God. And the theologian said that this servant song was one of the servant songs that really talked about the Messiah. In fact, one of the study notes says that the language is similar to that of a call of the prophet Jeremiah, and even his mouth, sharpened like a sword, is saying that it's the powerful, the mouth of the Messiah will speak truth, and that his servant Israel, and it says he'll labor to no purpose in vain, that the Messiah will suffer, and the Messiah will, at the end of the day, he'll have to go through great suffering. And I think if we were to read through all the messianic, and this would take a lot of, the Old Testament, and look through all the times that prophesied about a Messiah coming, you're going to see not just the Messiah, the Savior, but the Messiah, the sacrifice. And as I read through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in the last couple chapters of all those Gospels this week, and start preparing my heart for Easter and studying about Easter and studying about the death and the resurrection and all those things, the resurrection is the powerful, life-giving message. It takes the sacrifice to get to the resurrection. It takes Jesus offering his life and dying so he can come back to life and live. The resurrection is where the power is at. The sacrifice is where the love, the compassion, and the servanthood comes in. So he serves by offering his life. He saves by being resurrected from death to life. So I love the Easter story. There's so many different angles you can look at. And I would really encourage you this week, and we'll talk more about it throughout the next couple of days, how we can study and learn more about Jesus and his life, his death, and his resurrection. And at Easter time, it's a great time to focus on that. So remember, the suffering is the sacrifice and the service, him being a servant. The resurrection is the gift of life. We need both. We needed him to have to go through the suffering because that was his sacrifice. We absolutely needed him to raise back to life because that was the gift and the power of life, from death to life. So spend more time reading about that. Read the last couple chapters of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and really hone in on Jesus's death and resurrection this week. Prepare your hearts for Easter. This weekend is going to be great. So when you come to the fields, you might just want to honk if you love Peeps. Hey, share the brew today if you can. We'd love that. And we'll see you tomorrow. And I hear the guys in the other room, so I have to head out of here. So honk, honk. Make sure to honk if you love Peeps. See you guys.